Yep.
What's up, you wrestling fans, fanatics? Been a couple weeks. Jamie and Mike back here to talk college wrestling. Hey, and don't forget to use the most widely used Adidas coupon, True30, for 30% off your Adidas order on the web. Jamie, how's
Nobody else gets 30%.
That's right. Nobody else. I think when last time I talked to whoever was over there, we had like 2,000 more uses than all the other coupons they have combined.
Awesome.
It's crazy because I mean that all started with putting out highlight videos, and I haven't done that since whatever 2020 maybe. What else? I don't know. If you're here for the Penn State, you can skip ahead. Otherwise, it's been a pretty big weekend of wrestling, Jamie, and maybe we just go through some of the top 10 stuff.
Yeah, sounds good. Ohio
State looking really good. They I don't know if you watched the Wisconsin match. It was like a 1-point match at halftime or intermission, and then their upper weights just kind of pulled ahead. Wisconsin, I've given Coach Bono a hard time, but they're actually building.
Yeah, they've been doing well. They pulled off a couple upsets. Trying to see, like Ohio State wasn't at full strength, and
Totally.
They didn't wrestle their they have 325s that they're rotating.
Yep. Although Buzakis wrestled today versus Michigan.
Yeah, because he normally only does one of the 2 weekend duels.
Yeah. And we talked about it. Do you remember off the top of your head the last time he made 125 in high school?
23, 24.
I mean, that's a long time. They rolled Michigan. I would just say that if Ohio State didn't lose Marcus Blaze in the recruiting war and Rocco Welsh want to just leave there, like they'd be the co-favorites for NCAA team title right now.
I mean, where would Blaze wrestle? Because they got Davino.
I understand.
I mean, Davino's right now on par with everything Blaze has done.
Exactly. But I guess whoever wins, whoever finishes better, we'll see. But they really wanted Blaze, and They got a crowded lineup, and Anyway.
I mean, if they kept Rocco, I mean, he's certainly done better than Fishback has this year, so that would have been a huge upgrade.
And he just lost to, was it Brock Mantanona? Didn't look sharp out there. And I like Fishback. He's strong. He's tough. And he has a mustache. I'm a mustache. When I see a guy rock a mustache on the mat, anyway, goes back to Brucky for me. All right. Feldman beats Ferrari again, but loses to Gadali today in sudden victory. Gadali didn't really have any attacks.
None.
Feldman just couldn't finish when he was in on his hips.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. I mean, Nick took multiple half shots, and he did finally draw that stalling warning at the end, but wasn't enough.
Yep. Oklahoma State's going to go on later today.
I think it just started, right?
It just started. All right. Well, if we have any live updates, we'll give them to you. The other thing on Friday that really rubbed me raw was that Big Ten scheduled Penn State and Iowa at the same start time.
So the only explanation I have heard is that every team is given one slot on BTN Big Network.
Okay.
So I think that's why, Northwestern is wrestling Michigan State or something now.
Gotcha. Well, I didn't like it because I like to watch, all the best wrestling at, when it's going on. And I tried to flip back and forth. I had it on my computer while I was watching the Penn State match. And it wasn't the same because I was, trying to tweet out some Penn State stuff, blah, blah, blah. But the takeaway for me is, Iowa drops another duel.
Yeah, Minnesota beat them.
That's their fourth of the season. I mean, after the Penn State match, I was like, well, it didn't look like Brands has lost the team, but Nasir Bailey got blown out. Ryder Block loses. Jordan Williams loses.
They were without the 25. They were without Peterson, so Volk gets a major in that place. Block, like you said, I mean, Von Bauer majors Nasir.
Yeah.
Roberts beats Block. Block had been looking really good.
Yeah.
Millard is better than everybody thinks, but he majored Williams, which was surprising. And then they don't have a 97, so
Yep.
that kills them.
What was the final score?
21-16.
21-16, and right when you have guys who are in the top, I mean, Williams and Bailey wrestled Penn State tough, and they're giving up bonus points. Like that is, I mean, unless they're sick or they're training through something, I don't know. I didn't get it. I mean, the bright spot's got to be Gabe Arnold, right? They threw that guy off the team, and he's their most competitive guy, not named Caliendo or Kennedy.
Right, and Angelo is still out, so Gabe's filling in. Wonder if he'll go 97 when Angelo comes back.
Good question. And I don't know who told me this, but somebody, because I'm connected to these Iowa guys, that they're not sure he's coming back. Apparently.
Oh, really?
I don't know if he's coming back. Like supposedly he's got that's a bad ankle injury. Whatever. I'm sure there's all sorts of disinformation out there. Anyway, Arnold gave McAnally a pretty hard match. Wins in was it sudden victory takedown?
Yeah.
And it sure looked like McAnally had a takedown earlier in the match, right? And I think Willie even paused it a couple of times to show like these. I mean, every year I feel like the refs have a tough job, but do we have reaction time? Is it 1 second, right? And referees get confused with, I think, the takedown calls, and then the difference between 90 degrees and 45 degrees for back points and neutral danger. There just doesn't seem like there's a ton of consistency. I know it's a tough job, but boy, oh boy, if they just knew what stalling was at the very least, we wouldn't have half these rules of, side headlocks and dropping down, and just call stalling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But McAnally has not looked like he did last year.
Yeah.
Either people have game planned for him, or he's not attacking. He's not dominating like he did last year.
So I've watched 3 or 4 matches this year. It doesn't look like he's as aggressive or committed to it. Maybe he's more worried about his record last year that like no one knew who he was.
Right.
So he was just letting it all out there, right? Like he was an animal. You see it a lot of times. Like I guess the most obvious one was like Gabe Dean. When he wasn't aggressive, he wasn't a national champion.
Right.
Right. You got to be aggressive when that's your style. You can't back off. But Iowa still has Ohio State and Oklahoma State this year.
Yeah.
They could end up 6 losses. You got to go back to pre-Brands to see that many losses in a dual season by an Iowa team.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they're struggling.
Yeah.
They have a recruiting class. I don't know if it's this year or if it's next.
Right, the Bachmans. That's not.
Yeah.
Like there's one the following year and one they follow year after that, right?
But there was both Bachmans committed, and then Paul Kenny, I think, and his brother might have committed. They had 5 in that one big announcement.
Yeah. I just can't imagine they're not going to try and make a change. And I mean, I've said it 100 times already, but Ben Askren, who do you bring in? Mark Manning's not going to leave Nebraska. Dresser, would you bring in Dresser after Iowa State beats Iowa this year? He's an Iowa guy. Metcalf, Iowa guy. What's his name? The St. John, Iowa guy.
Right.
I don't know if they would leave Iowa State at this point. I don't know who else you could bring in from the outside to have a better coach than Brands.
Right.
Who's who'd leave? Who's not named Ben Askren? I don't know.
I mean, the way Askren talked on FRL or whatever, that like he can't even do his own kids clubs because he can't be around that many people because of the anti
getting sick
rejection
people, right?
medicine and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's figured out a way to run his club. He does it in small batches, and then I guess Max goes in and does it, and he's trained other instructors. So it's one of those things where I am sure if he really wanted to, he could figure it out. It'd be hard. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
And he looks better than ever. Like he's a poster child for, like he's put on, I don't know how much weight, but his face, like someone posted on Twitter last week what he looked like when he got out of the hospital and now, and he looks like a different guy.
Well, he said the steroids are doing that.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for knowing, Jamie. All right.
Which
That's
makes
Iowa.
sense. I mean, he's on all the steroids, all the anti-rejection medicine. I mean, he's got to do a lot to try to not catch anything.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What else? We got? Oh, that was Ohio State. Iowa State. We already talked about is Oklahoma. They beat. I'm sorry. They beat Oklahoma. They have Oklahoma State right now. What else was their big one? Was I'm trying to scroll there. Oh, Virginia Tech takes out NC State.
Yeah.
Ventresca beats Robinson for like the fourth time. Right? Crazy.
Yep.
He's got Robinson's number. No.
Absolutely. Seidel, Tex Redding.
Yep. Guy.
Beat Biskins. That's big. Biskins, I might have been undefeated.
He was number 5 in the country. I mean, these guys are Pennsylvania studs, right, who know how to mat wrestle. You don't want to go underneath these guys unless you're a serious bottom guy.
Yeah.
Right, as freshmen. This is impressive. So Virginia Tech, right, it's already crowded at the top. We got Iowa State making a move, Ohio State, and I've given them a hard time for their coaching staff, and I've taken a lot of grief for it this year. But then you got Virginia Tech coming in next year. You know, they're bringing back Henson, national champion, and then Bassett, and then Miller coming. Like Virginia Tech they're making a claim to be like top 5, competing for a trophy for 5 years now, right? This is they're solid.
Yeah, I mean, Seidel is red shirts pulled. He's full go now. Is teching everybody. I mean, his top work is just killing everybody.
I think people have to pay. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Guy, I think his red shirt is technically pulled. Miller's back up at 57, looks better. Will Denny for NC State beat Burton, but Burton had been looking good.
Yep.
Sasso had a big win in that match, beat Brophy.
That was a wild match. I mean, Sasso, you just never know if he has control of anything, right? Like, it's.
But he's had an up and down year.
Yeah. I know him a little bit, and I love watching his matches, but I just don't know if he's ever got control in any given position. Like, he could just lose it, and oh man. That was, and then what was it? Heavyweight, right? Trumbull won.
Yeah. Trumbull's going to be trouble. He's going to be high on the podium.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Virginia Tech has been good for a long time, but this next year might be the best team they put out there, right? This is high expectations because everybody thinks that, Bo's going to go, and when you have Caleb back, and then you have, is Ventresca a senior? I think so, right? He's a 7th-year senior, maybe.
He's likely to be a senior, yeah.
Yeah, but Guy and Seidel, I mean, they are loaded with guys who are looking like All-American, high All-Americans, right? Or at least All-Americans, let's say. The one thing I was going to say about Seidel, like just a coaching point, guys are going to have to pay attention when you're on bottom and you're clearing hands and the side that he's on, and you take that hand to grab a wrist, but you leave it by your belly button, he's going to tie that up and he's going to mess you up. You have to have that same side hand control out by your knee. It's a fine coaching point, but if you don't have it out there, he's going to cross wrist you, put that bar in. And I mean, he just made it look easy. He was turning whoever it was, who was a good wrestler, pretty easily.
Yeah, no, he's tough on top. I mean, he's crushed everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they wrestle Oklahoma State coming up here, and Jax is almost out of dates. So unless they're pulling his shirt, so that would be a fun rematch from PIAA's a couple years ago.
Exactly. If I were betting, and I am a betting man, at least in the stock market, like they're pulling Jax's shirt. Like they think he's crushing people. This is going to be a fun rematch. I think he's better than Seidel from neutral. Does he have the key to get out from underneath him?
Yeah, I mean, I forget how that match broke down last time, but it will be interesting.
I'll go look it up on PA-Wrestling. Anyway, Cornell dropped some more matches. They lose to Columbia and Arizona State. This is one of their hardest dual seasons in years. I think they've lost 7 duels so far. I think you got to go to 2020 and then back to the 80s to see that many dual losses. I rewatched the Shapiro-Larkin match. I don't know if you got a chance to look at that.
I didn't, but the Columbia loss is less concerning than I would say the Arizona State.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Columbia looks good. Pritzloff has got them going.
Donnie is such a great coach, and I took a hard time from Rutgers fans saying that Goodale has to replace that knowledge, because right now, I mean, Ashnault is down coaching in Princeton, like that was one of his disciples, and Donnie's in Cornell or Columbia. Like this is, you can't. I know, Mikey Labriola is a nice pickup, but he's not the guy that Donnie Pritzloff is as a coach.
No, not yet.
Yeah, exactly. Not yet. Interesting, like Larkin, he's made a lot of noise this year, and he's got a feel that people aren't used to. He took Shapiro down. There was a bunch of wrestling, and then Shapiro gets the winning takedown, stepping over a seatbelt. And Larkin clearly was not expecting him to step over his seatbelt. He presents a feel that people are just not ready to. It's his length and his angles just seem like he can not only, he's not looking to defend, he's looking to put you in danger, which I love to watch. And I wonder as more and more people get a feel of him and start wrestling, if people game plan for him. Otherwise, he looks like he's like 57 looks crazy. I mean, it is really looking solid from the returning champ and Duke and who else Larkin, Shapiro, whatever. There's a couple other people. I just don't have it down in front of me right now. But
Cannon.
Yes, Cannon. If he comes back, he was not back today, but right. I'm assuming he'll be back.
Ty Waters, Robideau, Vinny Zerbin, Cannon Webster, Cardenas.
Yep.
I mean, that's going down to the top 10.
Yeah. And then you got Jordan Williams if he turns it on for the tournament, right? And I think Wazinski from Lehigh is out for the season, but I'm not sure about that. So anyway.
Don't recall if I heard that was announced or not, but it's been a while since he's wrestled.
Yeah. So that's Cornell. What else here?
Well, Cornell's got some holes. I mean, Greg D's not cutting it, and then I don't recognize the names they have at 84, 97 and heavyweight.
Completely. And if Jackson Joy wasn't there this year, who looks phenomenal, you'd be like, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
So, watching high school and college, right? I don't know how many matches I've watched this year, but the number one thing we haven't even talked about this is how many kids are pulling their singlet legs down, like they're the bottom constantly, even when people are shooting on them. Like I just don't understand. Like guys like Messenbrink and who's the other guy? Not from Penn State. Their singlets are so loose that their singlets are hanging down to their knees.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why teams aren't exploring this whole shorts and compression top. Especially, I mean, we've talked about this not recently, is like even on my YouTube page, there's predators out there putting wrestling matches up on these weird websites. And, like I'll have a match that all of a sudden has 10,000 views because there's whatever, you can see the unit through the singlet, right? Like whatever it is. And it's just weird. People will leave little timestamps on and messages. For a while, I disabled all the messages on the YouTube wrestling videos because once I figured it out, like there's just timestamping where there's like some kind of vague innuendo that you can see through a singlet. It's just weird. I don't know why they're not going to the compression top and shorts, the fight shorts, but these wrestlers they're grabbing it constantly to pull it down. It's distracting too. Anyway, thoughts on this, Jamie?
I mean, follow Allison Schwab on Twitter and see some of the lawsuits that are going on and stuff about that.
No kidding.
Oh,
I'm not following her. Oh, no kidding. All right.
There's something with somebody in Illinois. She got thrown out of Midlands, and yeah, there's a lot going on with that.
Gotcha. Anything else that we should cover before we jump into Penn State?
I don't think so. I've just looked through Friday night's results. Duke's still struggling. Northwestern's really down. The Craker was about the only one that was winning for them. Pitt doing well. They hammered North Carolina.
That was a big match. I don't think North Carolina had everybody in their lineup because they were. Coach Cole is just a winner, right? And we've talked about it before. They were in the top 15, right?
Yeah.
Year 2 with not a lot of blue chip recruits. This year's class is monster, I believe, but they're not on the mat. And next year is good too. But this guy knows how to build programs everywhere he goes.
I'm just looking through the box from them, the Pitt Carolina one, and like Carolina's got a lot. He's got a lot of PA boys in there.
Totally.
Vitello's a Sem kid. O'Neill's a Malvern kid. Jake Daly's a Sem kid. Yeah, he's pulling. I mean, Tarakina's a transfer.
Right.
Heckman, I think's a transfer too.
I think so too. Yeah.
I think that's the first time I saw O'Neill in the lineup this year.
I am not sure about that. I thought he was in there earlier, but it could have been a tournament.
It wasn't often. If it was, yeah, it wasn't regularly.
Yeah. Any other results?
No, nothing. I don't have a summary of Saturdays readily available. Oregon State beat Wyoming. Those two are both very competitive, and had given Penn State Wyoming had the most points against Penn State probably till Friday.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, got to give Nebraska his due, right? They gave Penn State their toughest match. They won 3 individual matchups or matches. Coach Manning, Snyder, the big guy, Tervel, Delagnov. Yep. They've got Nebraska wrestling really well. General thoughts on the match before we dive in?
It looked like Penn State may have trained through it. I know we've talked about it in the past that there's always a weekend, seemingly late January, early February, that Penn State looks to have trained through. I was trying to post some stuff on different message boards if anyone else had ideas on that trend or whatever. I didn't get any good info, but they're like I think Sanderson said in his press conferences, like some of the guys looked like gassed. Like
yeah, he used the word flat,
right?
And like you said, we've seen this in the past. And Lillidahl, like he may have hit it, like he comes out as a bundle of energy no matter what. But like I thought he'd get a fall there, but he didn't look like he was strong enough to control in the top position. So he got the tech. But Blaze looked a little slower than normal. Like then Duke looked a little tired. Then Haynes looked really tired. So
yeah.
And I've taken crap, or there's been messages, from a former Penn State wrestler, is like, we don't call it training through it. All right, well, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
You can call
periodization. Is that what it is?
Right. But this is simulating what it's like to wrestle when you're tired of Big Tens or NCAAs, because they don't have a tournament doing that.
Right.
So they're simulating it at their in their home spot. And for Coach Anderson to bring it up or mention it, that it was. I don't think he would say it if it wasn't intentional. That's what I get. He doesn't want to. He does a lot of funny things, but I don't think he tries to embarrass his kids unless he's taking a photo of you underneath him on your back, like Nick Neville's, like Nick says hi kind of stuff, right? Like he's not trying to embarrass his team from a wrestling performance standpoint.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was the biggest thing. Is it looked like it was this period in their trainings where they are not optimized at full strength, but they had enough to get it done. I mean, you look at Blaze probably needed a takedown in order to get a major. Van Ness needed
Yep.
another point to get a major. I think PJ also purposely showed Antrell nothing.
Yeah.
He had like that one shot, which I kind of thought was an actual takedown.
Yeah. And then Barr was close to a tech fall. Then he got taken down, and he just looked whooped.
Yeah.
Right. Now I know that his big time training partner is no longer with the team, a backup guy, and they used to go at it. I don't know if the card. I mean, he's looked tired all the time, but he wrestles like he's Jason Nolf, 40 pounds heavier.
Right.
You know, agree with all that, and I guess we'll see. I would expect that we'll see Penn State looking sharp versus Michigan, and then be kind of tuned up for the Ohio State match. It's not their goal, but they have an 83 match win streak. It didn't happen by accident, right? The coaches know how to get guys ready to go. So,
and it looks like this. Wow, they don't have back. This is going to be like the fourth weekend with only single duels.
Yeah, for the rest of the year, right? Because next weekend Michigan, the following weekend Ohio State, and then the following weekend it's Princeton, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
So it's pretty light.
It feels like they didn't have too many of those Friday Sundays.
I guess I just thought last year there were more, but I'm wrong all the time.
I mean, so they had Iowa Northwestern on that weekend. They had Indiana Maryland that weekend. That was it. They had 2 Friday Sundays.
Yeah. 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 So I think we covered that. I don't know, 125. Jumping in. Is there anything else before we jump into just some of the individual matches?
No, go ahead.
I mean, Lillidahl, right? He, Kohler, not a highly ranked guy, and he got the tech fall with was it like 5.5 minutes or something?
Yep.
Whatever. So that's what it was. I mean, he looks good. To me, when Lillidahl is on, he can pick you apart from neutral until you're a little tired enough that he's going to turn and pin you or tech you, and that's he teched Kohler, but that's how. I mean, that's his formula. It's sort of the, it's like the Messenbrink thing as well, and probably a couple other guys. Barr, they're just going to take you down a few times, and then when you're getting a little mentally broken, then they're just going to start looking for the back points.
Some of them look for back a little more than Luke does, but you're not wrong that he more is trying to wear him down.
Yeah. And then just looking forward, he's got Santello from Michigan next week, which should not be a problem. And then we'll preview Ohio State maybe before that. He's got Bouzakis, who is 1 or 2, depending who you look at. And then Princeton, he's got Mark Anthony McGowan, who what is he like? He's top 15, I believe, right now. He's had a pretty good year.
Yeah, I'm curious to see for Bouzakis. That's the first of 2 matches that weekend, so he'll likely go.
Yeah.
I was trying to see how it played out for him as far as, because I don't think he's done a Friday Sunday.
Yeah, interesting, right? That weight cut is huge. What does it matter for seeding? So, right, Bird would probably be 1. What am I at? 25. Here we go. So Lillidahl, Bouzakis, and then you got Peterson, which I think they'll both. Lillidahl will be seated ahead of him. I'm assuming. I don't know if Bouzakis wrestled Peterson or Volk. And Volk is looking good, but let's see.
He pinned Peterson.
Okay.
And that was the only time they wrestled.
So to me, it's like one of those things where if he does not wrestle Lilladol, he still has the 2 seed, right? If Lilladol, you know, if they hold him out for that match,
right?
You know, it's not like he's going to be on the top side of the bracket to the 4 seed because, right, you've got, you know, who did I just say? Volk and Peterson below them. So one of those guys will be on the side with Lilladol if they don't wrestle Buzakis during the duel. But you got to think they want to win the duel. So
Yeah,
you know, if Cannon is in, I would imagine they put Buzakis in.
I'm thinking they're bringing their full team. I was trying to see what some people had posted potential RPI kind of postings. I was curious
Yep.
to see if he had enough to qualify for all that.
While you're looking, the other thing that I did not mention is that Nebraska was clearly using the Iowa post on the forehead, right? We talked about it during the match, right after that Iowa match. Cale Sanderson was talking about it, and right, this is one of those, like, people are saying Penn State's not doing anything, but when you block and post on a forehead, that keeps you from closing distance.
Yeah.
Right now, Iowa used that to, as soon as Penn State was trying to remove it with an arm, tried to shoot to the side of the arm that they were trying to remove that post with. At least a couple guys, I think Jordan Williams and maybe Peterson also. But you know, that's just another block. It's sort of like the tie up where you collar tie and then you over tie, and that over tie arm goes into the collar tie elbow. So it's, you know, it's a lock that you can't get through. Right. So it's one of those things. I don't know how they're going to figure that out. If it's more motion, more footwork, or popping it up. But, you know, what used to be the historic thing was just a short pop up and try and shoot to the same side as the post arm. But they're clearly, this is now the way everybody's trying to slow down the Penn State offense.
Yeah. And I like how the Big Ten is miking the refs, and you hear him talking about, hey guys, I've warned you enough, and then he went potentially dangerous on it, and then he went a point on one of them.
Yeah. Was that the Blaze match?
I forget. Somebody got a point for it though.
Yeah. Right. So, you know, Blaze versus Van D. You know, Van D comes in. I mean, Blaze is on a roll there. Whatever he is, he's like 4. Van D is, I thought he was around 10. Yeah, he's 10 in Intermat. And I had that as the spread being about 7.5 points. But, you know, Van D competed, but he also blocked a whole bunch. And you go back and you look at his tie-ups and his spacing, right? His mission was not to get majored. And, you know, the forehead posting, his tie-up, I think he's the one who was doing that collar tie, over tie to the elbow underneath. And, you know, it's hard to get through that. And, you know, I took a lot of hard time on Twitter for saying it looks like Nebraska's blocking more, specifically in the Antrell match. But when you post on the forehead, drop to the knee, I got to rewatch it. But he dropped to the knee at least 12, 18 times while you're back up. There's a way to not get scored on. It's called backing up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you stay in the circle. If you're backing up in the circle, it's almost impossible for the offensive guy to close distance without putting himself in bad position, getting out of position on that shot.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's why backing up, if we would have, again, we already talked about this, but it's infuriating. The referees won't call stalling unless it's one of these criteria of dropping down or side headlock. Hey, how about just backing up and not taking real attempts? Right? Activity is, just moving and being busy doesn't mean you're actually trying to score.
Right. And that's where, even in Feldman's match today, he took some half shots just to give the impression or activity clock kind of thing. I mean, with him being the smaller guy, he's not going to, he knows that little fake shot isn't going to be one that scores because he's too small.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, 133 looks really that's tough. So even looking ahead towards Big Tens, you got, Lucas Bird, Davino, Blaze, Zane Fugit, Ayala, and Jacob Van D. So, I mean, there's a little drop off there, but I mean, Blaze has got some, some studs up there, and he's looking at the Michigan match. Gage Botero and I think he lost to who did he lose to today? Was it Davino?
Who?
Gage Botero. I think he lost to Van.
Botero got pinned by or no,
by Davino in the Ohio State match.
I was thinking Bazakis pinned Botello. I think Blaze or Davino beat him. I don't think it was a pin.
Okay. So then he's got Davino at the Ohio State match, and then Danny Jones. So Davino is the only guy he's got before the end of the season that looks tough, and that will likely, either one of them will be on the bottom side of the bracket from Lucas Bird, who looks to be the 1 seed at this point. I mean, I guess if Blaze beats Davino, there's the case that, they didn't see each other, who's got, the better ranking, but I don't think it matters if you're 1 versus 2 versus you don't want to be on the same side as having Davino having a tough semifinal match, right? I know Penn State doesn't think that way. They just got to beat everybody, but that's how a lot of coaches think.
Yeah, I forget how Big Ten does their seeding, but I would think it's gonna be Bird 1, the winner of Blaze Davino 2, the loser 3.
Yeah.
Because Ayala's the next one down, and I think he's lost to both or all of the guys above him.
Exactly. Right. So he's gonna be the 4 on the other side, if everything kind of goes the way it looks like it should.
Yep.
141, Braden Davis versus Brock Hardy. Davis came out like a man possessed. Thoughts on this match, Jamie? We were texting during this quite a bit.
I agree. He came out on fire, went after him, was looking good. And I don't know if it was one of those, he knew he didn't have the energy for 7 minutes, that I'm going to burn it all early. But kind of one of the points you had made when we were texting was he's got to know that head inside, sit the corner cradle is something that Hardy does all the time.
Right. That's not the place to hide out on Hardy. It's just not the place. Get your head on the outside of the hip, right? Like get your head out by the ankle, but not in underneath, because this is where Hardy makes his meals, right? This is right. And that's what he did. And
yeah,
my old coach texted me as soon as that match was over. He's like, if you would have gotten stuck like that and then gave him a hard time, regardless of what he did to you, you would have been removed to an undisclosed location and re-educated. And I was like, I get it. It's a different time. But like, it's like when someone gets really angry after a loss, they have all that energy. Like use that to wrestle through that position instead of just sort of hanging out there. And so that's my takeaway is like, one, not to hang out in the bad position on the opponent, and 2, like use all that energy. Come off the mat. Your coach will gladly drag you off the mat if you give everything you got.
Yeah, the only part is I didn't like Brock kind of, in my opinion, instigating it by the belly tap. It's like, just get off.
I understand. And look, these guys are high T guys for the most part. Like they don't want any of that crap. I get it.
Right.
So, it's like people getting upset when you turn a gladiator loose and then he's a gladiator a few seconds after a competition. That's who these guys are. You just let it go. My point is, as a coach, though, you want, like, if you're gassing and you're trying to hide in the spot, use all that energy. Don't take it out after the match. So
yeah, no doubt. It was not the proper
Jamie.
reaction, but it was also not the right reaction from Hardy either.
Yeah, I agree. Coming up, the Michigan match next weekend, he's got Dylan Ragusin, who's kind of an up and down guy. He lost to Mendez today. Then he has Mendez, and then he's got Matthew Martino from Princeton, who's like number 50. So, I guess if you're a Penn State fan, you really want to see Davis will dominate Ragusan, have his gas tank under control, and then give Mendez a match, right?
Yeah.
Like he did with Hardy. Just come out at him and see what you can do. Because I mean, I think everybody has heard the quote, but Mendez thinks he's tougher than everybody out there. So that's his mentality. That's what he said after he beat Bo Bartlett for the NCAA title. I'm just tougher than him, and that's what you want to see him go out there and compete with Mendez.
Yeah, that's going to be that's an uphill battle for sure. I mean, because Mendez he's looking almost next topic, but I think he needs to kind of go out there and kind of try to set the pace, but we've seen that Mendez can come back on anybody.
Without a doubt. And when you look at the rankings, right, you've got Mendez as 1. Then you've got Hardy, who I don't know if he'll move up at all. And then you got Oliveri from Rutgers. I'm trying to see.
Is he back yet?
I don't know. I'm trying to pull it up and see where he's at here. He didn't wrestle in the duel, so I don't know. And I don't see him. He didn't wrestle versus Ryder yesterday, I don't believe. Just trying to pick it up here. See, yeah, he has not wrestled since the Bloomsburg Open, January 24th. So who knows if he's out for this season? I have not heard it. They didn't need it if he was even close to being there versus Ryder. They beat Ryder pretty soundly. So, when you're looking at the seeding there, Mendez, Hardy, if there's Oliveri, he'll probably be deferred to if Davis has a better record, or Vumbauer. So Bailey, holy cow. So those are the guys you've got at Big Tens: Mendez, Hardy, Oliveri if he's back, then Vumbauer from Minnesota, and Nasir Bailey from Iowa, and then Davis. So that's a tough bracket at Big Tens.
Yeah, no, it's that's very heavy Big Ten. 2, 3, 6 of the top 12.
Yeah, that's solid. Right, and then like we said, you just want to see him.
Ragusan is who's right now down at number 25,
which is crazy, right? He's an up and down guy too. I mean, I know guys in that room who he's I don't want to use the word prima donna, but he's walked out of that room and missed practice for 2 weeks, and they bring him back on the team when he's not injured. It's he's an odd guy to figure out. Hyper competitive, but super temperamental.
And DeKraker is a strong freshman that's down at 31.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a loaded weight class. No one wants to see. I mean, I'm not saying no one wants to see him, but he wrestles tough, right? He's going to come out and compete no matter who you are.
Yeah, he's a Blair kid. He's been through all the big tournaments and that kind of stuff. I mean,
he knows what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going up to 49, Van Ness comes in, and he's got the transfer third team for him, Chance Lamer. I think it started at Michigan, went to Cal Poly. Now he's a COVID senior at Nebraska. And this is one of those things where I thought the line would be 7.5 points, and it was 7. He just missed getting a major. To me, it was the strength of Lamer's ties that just sort of slowed down Van Ness in that first period. Gave up a takedown for the second match in a row. Not to his back this time, but Lamer was able to hold position, and he blocked the heck out of Van Ness. Just blocked, right? He wasn't. Yeah. He did score, but then once he got that takedown, I mean, he was just going back, and Van Ness just couldn't figure it out consistently to put up like 30 points like he did against Carter Young in the last 2 periods. So, I mean, Van Ness looked solid. I'm guessing he was, just if you ask me, he's a little tired there. He'll see Styles probably in the Ohio State match, and that'll determine. I mean, I think Van Ness he has a better record, but I think he'll be the 1 seed. If he loses then to Styles, I wonder how they'll because I think he's beaten mutual opponents that Styles has lost to, right? I'm trying to pull it up right now.
I was trying to see did Styles go today? I don't think
Yes,
he did.
I think he did.
Oh, did
Or
he?
He either went today or he went Friday, one of the two, because I know he was out on the mat. Styles, yeah, he beat Zargo in the Wisconsin duel 7-4. No, he lost to him. He lost to Zargo. My bad.
Right.
Yeah, and then he's also lost to Jacob Frost, and he lost early in the season to. Am I on the right? Yeah, I am. Lost to Joy and Caleb Tyus from Edwardsville, who was their ranked guy, who's kind of fallen off lately, though. I think, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's number 18.
Let me see. I'm still wonder if they're milking him back in, and they don't have the box score up for Ohio State yet.
For today's Michigan match?
Yeah.
So while you're looking it up, so the Michigan match then for Van Ness would be Lachlan McNeil, who is on his second team, right? He was at North Carolina, three-time All-American, right? Where's he from? Like Toronto. Then he was a SEM kid.
Yeah.
And, he and Bo Bartlett had a couple battles back in the day. And then now he's at Michigan for his, final year. I'm going to have to go with, that's a good matchup for Van Ness just to, I don't know, go gauge himself. And then he's got Styles, and then he's got Elijah Rivera for Princeton. So he's got three guys ranked in the top 15 to finish out the season.
Yeah, Styles did not wrestle this today.
The Michigan match, just
yeah.
So yeah, so maybe losing to the Wisconsin Fugit. Maybe he re-injured himself. Maybe they're just trying to bring him back slowly. They don't want to mess up his seed. I don't know what to say about that. Yeah. Then going up to 57, right? This was kind of the big match. You got PJ versus the returning national champ, Antrell Taylor, right? And lots of blocking. There was less reaction time than the McAnally takedown. It looked like a takedown, but it was 1 second. And the one thing about that Penn State finish where they're wrapped around the thigh is that you have to let go with one arm generally to finish that takedown if someone's contesting, and that's what looked like it happened to PJ with Taylor, and then he was able to pop right back up.
I mean, PJ and Trell is fast. I mean, he's got speed, athleticism, when he chooses to use it. But yeah, I thought that was a takedown. I didn't think we really had reaction time anymore. But I don't know what the rules are half the time these days. So
yeah, and look, I get it. Sometimes the referees are confusing years, right? Like there have been so many rule changes from the last, I don't know, since the whole freestyle change 7-8 years ago, the NCAA rules have changed quite a bit year to year, and whatever.
It's just one more reason, like in today's match, loved having him mic'd up because when they reviewed the Merkel takedown, they were like, nope, I was too quick. I didn't see that the foot was on the other side. He's like, no takedown.
Exactly. You're talking about the Michigan-Ohio State match, right? Yeah, exactly. That was awesome. I love to hear the rationale in real time. Right. But we talked about this offline. There should be a third party reviewing at the Big Ten. They got enough money, right? They got enough money there. And I'm guessing there's a Big Ten referee that lives within 15 minutes of or within an hour of most of these matches that would be glad to just be on call for a review.
Their announcers aren't even local all the time.
Yeah.
If you noticed Friday night, they had Gibbons in the studio doing pregame. Then all of a sudden he was calling the Illinois match or whatever the one was after Penn State.
Yeah.
So they do a lot of remote stuff. So I'm sure if they can announce it remotely, third party doesn't have to be in the building.
Exactly. Even if you had to wait one in line. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right. We already have another one under review. You have to wait a couple minutes, whatever it is, or have two referees, whatever. everything is saving money, and they could easily have a centralized referee. So, so Taylor, he came in at number 5, and Duke was 3. I'm guessing they'll flip flop there. The sudden victory thing. There was a lot of
flip flop, or they keep Duke ahead of Waters.
I don't know what's going to happen there. I guess you could do that. Slide Duke down to 4, put Taylor at 3, Waters at 5. Good question. Glad they're not doing that. Next week, he's got Catrabone. Yeah. And then
his dad was a Whippeal guy for I think he was North Allegheny.
Yeah, and then he'll have Cannon if he's back in the lineup, which would be a big matchup. And then the guy from Princeton I've never heard of, Rocco
Malachi? Yeah, same. Never heard of him.
So I mean, Duke will get, if he gets Cannon, that's a serious test. And Cannon has looked tremendous this year. I don't know what is the injury. Do we know what that is?
I've not heard anything.
Well, I hope it's an injury and that he's not sick. Right.
Yeah.
And that'll be maybe a competitive match, maybe not. Michigan, and then at Ohio State, that's going to be a battle. I'm looking forward to that. That's just another one that we look forward to. And that's the guys he's facing. Go up to 65 with Mitchell.
Yep. He's just a freak.
Yeah. I mean, got the tech fall, and this is one of those things that reminded me of. I think it was Aaron Brooks in maybe the Michigan match a few years back, where it looked like Penn State was really tired, and Brooks just kept trucking the whole match, and finally got the tech fall at the very end, and that's it. Like Messenbrink took him down, ended up riding. I had to ride him out in that third period to get the riding time point to secure the tech fall, and that's what he did.
Yeah,
and he did it right. And I credit to Arujau, LJ. Like, that guy competed. He wanted to wrestle, right? Like he competed. All the Nebraska guys for the most part, but LJ really, he was offensive. Like he didn't want to just prevent a bonus point. He was trying to score points at several times during that match.
And he's throwing club collar ties from left field.
Right? You saw the one where it missed. It looked like it was a hook, right? It didn't look like it was a collar tie. Messenbrink just ducked that thing, and it looked like it was a boxing throw, right? That's what it really looked like. So.
And I'm sure it's got to be so much fun to have Messenbrink just smile at you afterwards.
Right? Totally. And then coming up, the Michigan match, it looks like he'll have Justin Gates, who's, I don't know if they're going to keep him in there. I don't know who wrestled today, but
I think it was Gates.
Yeah, so he's like 84 in WrestleStat. Then you got Patty Gallagher. What is he at?
Actually, wait. So Michigan Gates. He wrestled Gallagher 8-2.
Gates did?
Yeah.
No kidding.
And he lost, but he kept it close.
Yeah. Gallagher is coming in at number 17 for the Ohio State match, and then I just lost WrestleStat. I think it's Ty Whalen for
Princeton. Who's kind of got real popular a couple years ago on his redshirt year, won Midlands or something like that, and then has been kind of quiet ever since.
Yeah, right. He was a qualifier last year. They only had 3 qualifiers in Dubuque's first season. Funny, I guess I already said his name. This week, I did this somewhat controversial series about reviewing all the programs, and Joe Dubuque is texting me. He's like, "You have Princeton listed, but there's no review under where you had them." I'm like, "Oh, crap." And whatever, Rockfin, I was struggling. Sometimes it gives me a word count on some of these things, so I had to repost it. And I knew he was going to look at it. And it was pretty favorable. I like Dubuque. I like the Princeton program. It's hard to get in there, but it's funny when I've had a lot of coaches angry at me this year, and Dubuque was not angry at me. But it was just kind of a funny. I'm like, I hate to look at it when the coaches text me. It's just hey, the record is what the record is. Like, you call it brutally honest. I'm just calling, this is your record.
Right.
This is your record. You've had no national qualifiers. What do you want me to say? Or
Right.
you know, oh man. Anyway, I haven't really talked about it on the podcast, but it's been pretty stressful. And there we are. So that's Messenbrink, and he looks like to be one of the guys who is, I don't want to say a sure thing, but if you're looking ahead at Ohio State, Michigan, it looks like it's a 9-1 split. Gadali is maybe favored over
Mirasola,
right, at heavyweight, especially after the win over, and he's a big guy, where Mirasola just hasn't quite. We'll see. He's been improving all season, but that Nathan Taylor match sticks in my mind. That he's just and I don't know if Gadali's that big, but
right. Taylor's on the he's if you look at the heavyweights, like the ones that are 220 or less, and then you got your 220 to 250-ish, and then you got your over 250s, and Taylor's in the upper class for sure.
Right. And we were talking about this offline. Like, Braxton Amos finally having a good year, his senior year. He's looking a little fat, but I don't know. I mean, he's got to be one of the bigger heavyweights. I don't know how he was making 97. Is that what he was holding him back, or is it just something, whatever? I don't know. But I mean, he doesn't look like he's a super fit heavyweight at this point, right? He's got belly.
I think he probably could have put on the weight and kind of stopped at like 250, 260.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the last few pounds are not looking good.
That's it. Okay. Bumping up to 74. Number 1, Levi Haynes comes in, and Minto, I think, was the number 4. Chris Minto's having a great season. I mean, he's just a really good wrestler. I was looking forward to this thing from, Jump Street, and, it was one of those things where it's a tough match. And, this is where I was really thinking, boy, it looks like they trained through this. Like, Levi's never that, I don't want to say tired, but, he is usually really crisp on his shots. And then the way he moves up with such control it's really remarkable to me. Like, it's something to be, emulated. And, Minto had just lost to Kennedy, who, Levi had just bonus pointed. And that's when I'm like, oh, that's right. And then that's when I started texting with you, like, saying this looks like he's, the train through match.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Minto's tough. I mean, and it's one of those. It's like, how did he make 65 last year? Because he looked very full size.
Very right. He's a full size 74 pounder for sure. Yeah. Like Levi, right? Like, how did Levi make 57? Right? Like, seriously.
But I mean, right. Levi, we know, based upon wrestling at 70 kilos, is not a full size 74.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, the knee pick, the cross knee, right, ends up like it's a kid's move, but like when you're out there and you're a winner, and he's never lost a Big Ten duel, and he's tired, like you're going through your Rolodex of what can I hit on this guy, and he gets the knee pick for the takedown that I guess it sealed the match, right?
Yeah, that was the winning takedown.
Yeah, so. Winners win. They find a way to do it, and they'll see each other again. Haynes. Well, let's see who Haynes has here for the rest of the season. He's got Bo Mantanona, who's not, I don't think, quite as good as his brother Brock. Then he's got Karchla, who he's had. They've all been one takedown matches, I believe, at the end of the match, right?
Karchla is looking better this year for sure.
And then he's got Garcia, who's a 44th ranked guy from Princeton. So he'll see a couple tough guys here, and he's controlling his own destiny. He's the 1 seed. You got Kennedy. Looks like he'll probably be the 2 seed because he beat Minto. Minto probably 3, unless Karchla knocks off Haynes. And then if Karchla does lose to Haynes again, you got to figure he's going to be the 4 seed. And then you got who do you got? It's kind of thins out there. Then you got Mantanona and Brody Bauman and Lenny Pinto, rounding out some of the stuff at the Big Ten. Not the deepest. High concentration at the top though, with Haynes, Kennedy,
four of the
Minto.
top 5. and then it drops off. But
so
Mantanona is concerning. He's solid, number 5 seed, but Pinto has not had. He's kind of regressed since he left Nebraska. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just go back to the coaching thing at Rutgers, where when you lose a national champion and a guy who makes national champions and becomes a head coach, like, you've got to fill that knowledge, and it's not easy. Didn't they bring in who's running the RTC there? Oh no, he followed Pritzloff, right? The old Blair coach.
Buxton's with Pritzloff at Columbia.
That's what I meant. Yeah, he left the RTC, went to Columbia. So they lost Pritzloff, Ashnault, and Buxton out of that North Jersey ecosystem, which is not easy.
Yeah, it looks like Pollard is the assistant, Middich is an assistant, Labriola is an assistant.
Yeah. So I Pollard, rider, wrestler, good guy. I don't think he's at the highest level of technique. I've heard Middich is really good on the recruiting trail, and a great culture guy, but I'm not sure where he is with, the highest level technique these days. And then, and Labriola, it's really hard to teach that style that he has, right? Like, that's not, you can't just learn his funky style, right? You think of some of those Starocki matches he had, where there was, 30 seconds of scrambling, like, that's just not something you can teach. Right, that's something the kid has to come in with some kind of base level of.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, you would think those two would be big helping to recruit that Lehigh Valley area for sure.
Exactly. All right, how about we go to 84? We got Rocco Welsh, and he is just looking better and better. Everybody's saying it, taking out Silas Allred. And the thing to me that is really remarkable about Rocco is that he's not the strongest 84-pounder up in the shoulders, but his footwork makes up for it. Like, his ability to keep distance and be ready to attack, whether it was Ferrari or the Allred match, footwork is just fantastic.
I just love really that he's become somebody who's looking to attack.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, he's building all season, and he is, he worked his way into the 1 ranking and Intermat, and right now it's his car to drive to be the 1 seed. He's got the win over Ferrari. He's got Brock Mantanona, who's, this will be interesting. When you wrestle these the Mantanona guys, they're super long.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you stay underneath and don't finish quickly, they can tie up your ankles and really give you fits from neutral, and they can give you fits from top. But you just don't see Rocco hanging out on his takedowns, right? He's a crisp finisher. He'll get you on that hip so you can't reach across to tie up an ankle. So I'm looking forward to watching his improvement. It's really remarkable that he walked away from Ohio State, where he took second.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy. Like, I went back and I re-listened to the interview like a year ago, where he's like, "Yeah, none of the coaches talked to me." Like, how do you not talk to a guy in a red shirt who was an NCAA second place winner?
Right.
And I know this from talking to other guys in college. It happens all the time. But, like, how do you not have the emotional intelligence? I'm not just going after the Ohio State guys, because it happens at a lot of programs. I've heard about it at several programs, and it's one of those things that just makes you wonder, how do you not invest in this? And I know they've got a lot of guys on a team, but you got 3, 4, 5 staff people. Like, you got to make sure you're touching base with your best guys and your best future guys on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, if Bo Jordan is that middle upper weight guy, that should be they should be in lockstep.
Yeah, without a doubt. Whether he's in red shirt or not, like, that's just, yeah. So anyway, I'm super happy Rocco is improving. He is just, I don't even think we're seeing our best version of Rocco at this point. Like, it's so hard to get better during the season. If you weren't a wrestler, it's easier to get better in the off season. You can practice moves. You don't have the wear and tear. You don't have the pressure of going out there, eating away at how you practice. You
Right.
practice differently. You don't learn as well as when you are trying, new moves for the first time or whatever it is in the off season. You can really take your time on those things. But guys who can get better during the season, that's a special gift.
Well, it seems like he is really buying into that Penn State culture of let it fly. It doesn't. There's no harm in giving up a takedown. What's it matter? Just go out and just get better every day. I mean, he seems to be bought into that, and it's paying off. I mean, because he's clearly looking better than I've ever seen or expected.
Yeah. Yep. And when you watch the NCAA final versus Starocki, who I think was a broken hand at that point, like he wasn't that aggressive. It was a 2-1
That was
match.
the knee, wasn't it?
Was it the knee? Carter was banged up, right? It was obvious. Whatever it was, he had a problem. And Rocco just wasn't. I don't think he tried to compete to win during that match. Now I feel like he's locked in. So he's most likely if he wins out. So he's got, like I said, he's got Fishback 2 weeks from now, Brock Mantanona next weekend, and then someone from Princeton who I don't know. And he looks to be rounding into peak form.
Yeah, I was just trying to see that year, his freshman year. I feel like, he had a 4-2, 4-1 sudden victory, 4-1 sudden victory, 4-1 sudden victory to get to the finals.
Yeah, interesting. Yep. So, and what is he at right now? He is at, what is his bonus rate? He's at 67% bonus. So major fall, 15-9 decision over the Indiana kid Goins, who's number 15, and then tech fall tiebreaker versus Ferrari. Major decision, tech fall. I mean, tech fall, major. So whatever, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regular decisions out of 14 matches. I mean, that's a big step up. What his freshman year, he was 42%. So he's up, 27%, which you would expect, right? As going from freshman to sophomore, but it's one of those things where you like to see him embracing that kind of style.
Yeah, no, he's been one of the biggest surprises of the year. I don't know how many people at the time would have said that Penn State would have won the trade with him coming in and with Zach Ryder leaving.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't convinced myself. I didn't know, especially then Ryder had that big win early in the season. You're like, holy cow, that guy's a monster.
Yeah.
And anyway, good stuff. It's a business out there, so you can be angry, and everybody takes shots at Penn State these days because they're number one. Just like people used to take shots at Iowa and whoever else was a champion,
they haven't stopped taking shots at Iowa.
They haven't. This is true.
Regardless, good, bad, or indifferent, there's still nobody stopped.
Yeah. You will say, here's another thing I didn't give props to the fans. It was in Bryce Jordan, right?
Yeah.
The match, right? They were the loudest they've been all season. I know there was more people in there, but they have to pipe music in there, half the time or all the time now because it gets so quiet. These fans were at least a little louder, a lot of more cheering, and I like to see that.
For sure. A lot more casuals at the VJC matches because it's available.
Exactly. And there's those sometimes the casuals drink and they're just louder then, which I appreciate, a fan base that's going to be loud. You're cheering on a team that's on an 83 match, I think, dual win streak, right? I think it's 83 now.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be quiet while they're winning. All right, enough about the fans. 97, Josh Barr comes in. This is when I was absolutely sure they had worked hard through it because, I mean, he's got the McDaniel, who's a really good wrestler. He comes in at was he number 8 or 9, and can't pull up Intermat. And he's putting it on him. It took a little while, opened it up, kept getting the takedowns, and then McDaniel came out and fired that takedown in the third period, and Barr just sort of, I don't know. I want to say he stopped wrestling. It was like he was going to push himself through being tired to get to the tech fall, and when he realized it was done, like it wasn't going to happen, he didn't quit, but he caught his breath for a good 30 seconds there.
He was content. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Barr looks really good. He's in the driver's seat for, for the top seed. He'll have Hayden Walters, who was a blue chip guy out of Oregon at Michigan. I think he had a bad knee his first year or two, but he ended up losing to Luke Giog today. Then Barr will have Giog in the Ohio State match, where's Giog at? He's 10.
Yeah, I would say he can't be too high.
And then
he's been splitting time. I don't know if Shoemate is done or if it's fully Giog now.
Good question, right? Good question. Who is going to be there? With Giog winning, right there, they used to. I mean, I think that when they pulled Shoemate out of the Intermat lineup or rankings, Giog slotted right in at his ranking, right? I think it was 16 or something like that.
Yeah, they're not too different.
And we haven't seen Shoemate since January 23rd, so 2 weeks now. And that was in the loss to Gavin Nelson in the Minnesota match.
Yeah, it seems like Giog's the guy at this point.
Yeah. So Barr, and then there's I don't want to. Yeah, I was saying Connor McCluskey, the household name, ranked number 130 on WrestleStat from Princeton. So he's got the he's in the driver's seat for Big Tens, and then this is not a super strong weight class at Big Ten, so most likely number 2 seed is Camden McDaniel, Luke Giog, and then Branson Johns from Maryland. Yeah, and Gabe Solers. I don't know where that, and then Remy Cotton and Walters. So like watching Barr wrestle. Really appreciate his activity for a big guy. I already mentioned it. Like he wrestles like he's Jason Nolf, but he's 40 pounds heavier. Love it.
Yeah, no, he's awesome to watch.
Yeah. And then we're on to the big guys, and it was Cole Marisola versus AJ Ferrari, and has been improving during the season. And it's one of those things where I wasn't sure if he could win the Keeter match. He did. And then, a couple bonus points matches, tech fall, and a pin over, guys who are not highly ranked, but you got to work for it sometimes as a heavyweight. And then you got AJ Ferrari, who's coming in, and he's a former national champ, 3rd last year. But talk about someone who doesn't appear to be improving.
No, I think it appears to be just straight up stubbornness that I'm going to wrestle this same style at whatever weight class, whatever, and it just looks like stalling.
It does, right? The drop down, and even on top, when he was at 97, I don't know if his arms aren't long enough. He would get in there and ride guys. Now it wasn't a dynamic ride, right? He was at least doing one. Pry. Yeah, at least one side thigh pry while he was working for a wrist, sometimes the double. But when you go back and look at his matches, he scored more points. It's just what he did. And at this point, I just don't see, I can see, was it Brian Snyder telling him not to celebrate? Don't do doing that, right? It's,
I think half the team was telling him that.
Yeah. Right, exactly. So I don't know. Last year when he was at Cal State, now granted it's a weaker competition, but he had a 61% bonus point average. He's in the Big Ten right now. He's at 36%. And when he was a freshman, he had a higher rate at Oklahoma State. He was at 40. Yeah. Right, and then he was at 70 before he was asked to leave in 2022. So.
He used to shoot from that. Well, I haven't seen him do a blast double from that kneel down yet.
Yep.
Now, I haven't watched all his matches, but
yeah, I'm trying to think of which one he did. I think it was in the Iowa match, maybe versus Keeter, that he did that kind of blast, and it didn't work. Right? People are, you kind of keep distance. So this has to make you feel. I don't want to say it's a moral win for Mirasola, but I mean, you're closing it with a guy who was a former national champion. I know was at 97. He was third last year at heavyweight, and
no, he was third at 97.
Oh, third at 97 last year. That was last year. He was at 97 still.
Buchanan beat him.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Stephen Buchanan. Right. But losing 2-1, like that if you see this guy, that's a winnable match at at the Big Tens. That's an easily winnable match for him. So, and again, the forehead posting and the constant backing up. I mean, there's everybody, and I can't remember which. I don't remember who the Japanese coach was at Penn State when, like in late 70s, early 80s. So Lorenzo was still the head coach. Fritz was the head assistant. There was a Japanese guy there who was a jiu-jitsu world champion, and I used to work those camps for Fritz while I was in high school. And the Japanese guy, I was his dummy when he would, for whatever reason, but he would always repeat to me, he's like, if you don't want to be taken down, back up. If anybody who is still listening knows who that guy was, just can't remember his name. It was just one of the funniest things. He would just tell everybody that at camp, but he would tell everybody, don't back up. Backing up is for wimps or something. He was pretty funny guy. All right. Well, any thoughts?
Hachiro Oshii.
Oshii? Is that right?
Yeah. He was an assistant from 83 to 99.
Different guy. So the guy before that, and I don't think he was on the coaching staff.
Okay.
He was on the staff from like the mid 70s to early 80s, I believe. Are you on like the wrestling club site or something?
No, just Google.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm just going to pull up. Like I said, it looks like Penn State the next weekend. They got Michigan, and the mat that looks like it'll be most likely contested is Tay Gadali at heavyweight versus Mirasola. So Gadali will be. He just knocked off Feldman in the Ohio State match today, which is Sunday. So I imagine he's going to move up. He's. I'm trying to think of see where he is at right now. He was at number 7. So this will be a good test. He's a big guy. He's bigger than Feldman, at least taller. So we'll see how. I'm drawing a blank on Cole. Mirasola can work on taking him down because Feldman had a really hard time getting in. The shot was easy. It was getting the hip to the mat. And can Cole, use his speed to get to the outside and keep an angle and get Gadali down on the mat?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Feldman was going to drive through that one today.
Yeah.
Now, he's kind of in that mid-range heavyweight era size-wise that I think Mirasola's got a chance on, but Feldman moves well, so it might be another one that's got the extra size might be tough on him.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. A friend of mine was just texting me. He's like, so this guy was on the world team for Greco, former coach of mine, Dan. He was like, just watch this match. And I'm guessing he's drinking, but even counting the half shots, Penn State had almost 4 times as many attacks as Nebraska. And he's like, if you go back and right, because Dan he's an older dude at this point. I don't know if he's 65. He's like, this is what the Russians used to do in the 70s and 80s to us. They would wait for us to attack and then counter.
Yeah.
So interesting take from Dan Stinkel. Anything else that we should cover, or we bored people enough, Jamie?
So you said schedule coming up, Ohio State next Friday, Maryland the following Friday.
No, Michigan next week.
Yeah.
And then Ohio State the week after, and Princeton the week after. So next 3 weeks, those are the 3 teams.
Yeah, I think Ohio State's going to be good. I don't know. We'll do a deeper breakdown. I don't know if it's going to be all that close, but it's going to be good. It's going to be worth watching.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the energy. I mean, they're border rivals, and the idea that you've got Kyle Snyder, Rocco Welsh, Blaze. I'm trying to think of anybody else. Like, people who have left Ohio State and come to Penn State, it just adds to the fuel a little bit. So, just without even looking at and knowing who it is, I think Penn State wins by 10. And we don't know who the starters are going to be, right? Like, that just, I don't think it'll be as close, but, you never know. Where's it at, Jamie? I'd have to look it up.
I was just looking that up because I wanted to see if they were going to cram them into Rec Hall and give them no tickets, but it's at BJC.
It is at BJC, so
yeah.
It should be loud, and I'm looking forward to that. We'll do a preview. Maybe we'll. I mean, there won't probably be a whole lot to summarize from the Michigan match next weekend, but we'll do a preview of the Ohio State after that.
Yeah, WrestleStats got it closer than I would expect, but yeah, it'll be interesting.
Interesting. Well, that's an algorithm, and it's heavily weighted against Penn State if you really look at it. Right? I don't want to. They had Levi as the number 3 guy for most of the season, or at least half of this season. Like, you're like, are you kidding me? I don't get that. And I know it's an algorithm, and I know Greg is an Iowa guy, and Dan's a Rutgers guy. But I think Greg does the algorithm. But anyway,
they have love you guys at 4, and it certainly isn't the 4 I would pick.
Oh, interesting. We'll look at it later.
Yep.
All right, Jamie. Good times. Thanks for sticking around, people.
Thanks.